Good evening, everyone. Welcome. We're going to start here a little late. Apologize. We started out our closed session a little late. It is 6:50. Welcome to the City Council, Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency, Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority regular meeting of April 2nd, 2013. We're going to start with our legal report. Ms. Lyons?
Thank you, Mayor. Council met in closed session. Items A through C were discussed. Direction was given. No reportable action was taken.
Thank you. This meeting is called to order. Ms. Garcia, please note all members are present. Mr. Kim is on his way to the dais. We'll start off our Pledge of Allegiance led by Mr. Ben Horton.
Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Horton. May I please have an approval of the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
So move, seconded.
Mr. Hodge and Mr. Moreno, please vote. Okay, thank you. Approval of the agenda passes 4-1. We're going to start off today's meeting with a presentation. We actually had two presentations, but our second presentation, item B from the IID, will be canceled for today. So we're going to go ahead and start with the presentation from the Calexico Arts Commission regarding commission activities. And I believe that's Hildy.
Good afternoon, Council, everyone. On behalf of the Calexico Arts Commission, myself and Leah Arellano, one of our fellow arts commissioners, is here. And we're here to give a brief report. I know that Mayor Pro Tem Hodge has been working on the mural projects that we're supposed to be getting out there in our fair and frantic city. And I just want to report that the mural guidelines that we decided on. We worked with other cities and other proposals to see how they did it. The commission has gone through them. We went with the simplest, what looked like the quickest. We will be approving, we expect to approve those mural guidelines on Monday, April the 8th, during our Arts Commission meeting. Mr. Hodge, it'd be nice if you were there.
I'll be there.
A timeline will be set up for the implementation of the paintings. We are seeking to confirm that funds are available for the projects. Stipend will be offered to the artist with partial payment at the start and final at the completion of the mural. The funding, is our understanding, is coming from Art in Public Places. We're looking at 8 to 6 murals per cycle. Tentatively, we have cycle 1 for April 30th. We put a call out for artists, and these are our muralists. May 30th would be the deadline for the artist submittals. Detailed application process will be in, and the completion of the installation should be by September the 30th. So actually, that gives them several months to finish the work. Round 2, the schedule would be released later with dates and more details. If we were to get between 8 or 6 murals going at the same time in one cycle, then we could get a lot done.
That's wonderful.
People would be very excited. You, Mr. Hodge, would be very happy, and that's what we're looking at. We know how important it is to you, and it is to the community, and especially to the artists, that there's many out there. But we just have to have guidelines before we just jump into it, because we can get ourselves into a lot of trouble. So this is why we went through the process of doing that, and now we're at the next step.
Chairman Carrillo, I respect that very much. I totally agree with you. It has to be thorough. There has to be a process. That's why I had the utmost faith in suggesting it to the Arts Commission. All I wanted was just what you just did, was a report. It makes me feel satisfied that we're moving along. And maybe I'm overzealous. I just would really like to see those murals happening. And it's good to hear that it's possible that 6 could be happening simultaneously.
Yes.
But again, more or less, when do you think that actually the painting might take place?
Yes, well, if we, according to our tentative schedule, the call for artists is April 30th.
April 30th.
And so May 30th would be the deadline for submissions, and, it'll be a process. They've got to fill out forms, they've got to
Right.
show us
That's
a
understandable.
schematic of something. We're identifying the sites. We're working with Sandra Towler and Nick Servin on all of these
And
sites.
so it's real possible that early summer, we could be having,
Well, we put a deadline for September 30th, complete
see.
installation, but you could have it for early summer.
okay. Well, I want to do it right, but I just would
Yeah.
like to see it happening. And the little research I did was that it does help in graffiti abatement. So it beautifies our city, it reflects our culture, who we are, hopefully, and it beautifies the city, and it helps in graffiti abatement.
And I think
So
also
thank
there's
you.
a sense of pride that comes out of
Yeah.
it.
Well, once we do that, then we're going to go back, and because you started a project where you identified some of the older murals that are still
That was a
standing,
long time ago.
and then we're going to combine them into a booklet so that we can have at the library and at the
Excellent.
art center, so that we can give out. Also, on another note, the Arts Commission recently ended the Women in the Arts exhibit last month. We had 15 artists actually showcase their work, and approximately 250 people attended the week-long exhibit, which was Monday through Thursday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., and the Arts Commissioners volunteered staffing time, and this is how we're able to keep the the gallery open. We are working on the second annual Children's Arts Festival scheduled for Saturday, April the 20th. We will have hands-on art booths out in the street in front of the gallery and a children's art exhibit inside the gallery during that day. The next exhibit, open to all artists, will be in June. We're calling it Summer Solstice. Dates, and we also want to include a poetry reading in some part of that week. The dates will be set at the Arts Commission meeting on Monday. And July and August, we don't want to go dark. We've been talking about having theater workshops for you theater buffs, both of you that you're not listening. We want to have theater workshops in July and August for different age groups, hopefully. And we'll do it with, we don't know how we're funding it, but we're trying to figure that out, but we'd hate to waste the summer and not have some type of art function going on indoors. And since we have that great stage there at the Carmen Durazo Arts Center, it would be perfect to do
Maybe
something.
I can help.
Well, this isn't right up your alley.
Yeah, I was just talking to Councilman Mayor. It'd be
Yeah.
nice to do a play.
All right, well, thank you very much. That's all I have. If you have any
Thank
questions.
you. Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you, Hildy. Okay, that is the only presentation we have for today, being that the IID has canceled their presentation. Okay, on to the announcements, public appearances, and public comments section of our agenda. Note, not to exceed 3 minutes. This is the time for the public to address the council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. If the item you wish to comment on is a closed session or consent item, please comment now. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comment when we get to that item on the agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the City Council. Okay, we'll start our public comments with Mr. Oscar Gonzalez.
Oscar Gonzalez, Calexico resident. I feel very happy because I'm not criticizing anybody tonight. And,
Me too.
well, I think that this is probably the most intelligent council that we have. Oscar Rodriguez, college graduate, yours truly, he's a college graduate, Mr. Moreno, Mr. Hodge, Ms. Hurtado, businesswoman, Luis Castro, businessman, and Mr. Kim. I don't know if you have a degree or not, but you're a businessman. And I think this is the best city council that I've had the privilege of criticizing, but it's been least because ever since November, I don't think I've really done hardly anything but praise the council. And I think you have a hard job. You have a hard job to replace New Jar and so forth. I hope we don't replace too many people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Next speaker is Mr. Ben Horton. Please come up to the podium.
City Council, my name is Ben Horton, Calexico. I sit on the board of directors with Charlie Family Care. In front of you, you have some information about our upcoming golf tournament. And this is in behalf of Mr. Rios, who is the executive director, and Maria Navarro, who is the coordinator of programs at the Charlie House here in Calexico. One of the things that we're having is this golf tournament. It's going to start April the 6th, but we're also inviting the city council and plus the community to come out to the country club on April the 5th for a little get-together. We're going to have the NFL has decided to be mentors for our program. They will be participating in most of the programs that we have in Calexico and also throughout the valley. And we just want to make sure that the community have a chance to see what we're doing. Come out to the country club. You are all invited to have a good time and to get some autographs from some Super Bowl players, some of the football players that you have seen on TV. And this is something that's brought forth by Charlie Family Care, and this is a fundraising program to help the kids of our community and throughout the valley. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Horton. Thank you very much. Next speaker, I have Carolina Avila, and the subject is the Calexico Animal Shelter.
Hello everyone, my name is Carolina Avila. I live in Calexico. I'm here to speak on behalf of those who cannot. Our animals are our pets. As far as I know, not too long ago, Calexico City, had an animal shelter, but its name has been changed to a dog pound. I wonder why. Did you change its name in order to provide less attention to the facility and its animals, or to take us, citizens, off your back? What is it that you cannot provide our city with a decent, full-service animal shelter facility? 4 years ago, I found my own dog through a website. Now I'm wondering, why is it a problem posting pictures of the current animals in the facility to put on Facebook? Why is it a problem? Like, are you trying to stop these dogs from finding new homes? Because at this point, I'm thinking, and I believe you have no interest on adopting these animals. You don't want to give them up for adoption. Why? Animals aren't disposable. They aren't factories. And Calexico is full of, we have plenty of homeless animals here. Also, if you think feeding and starving and a homeless dog is a problem or a bad thing to do, why helping others? Why bother? If you don't have the heart to help an animal in need, why are you going to help someone else? We can judge the heart of a man by his treatment of animals. I want to know what's going on with our city. Also, I would like to leave you with a quote by Mark Twain. If you pick up a starving dog and make him prosperous, he will not bite you. This is the principal difference between a dog and a man. Now, so who's the animal? Also, I'm still waiting on a reply from the email I sent back on March 18 at around 5:30 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolina. Okay, next speaker is Sarah Douglas, also on the Calexico Animal Shelter. And congratulations, I understand you had a baby.
Thank you very much. My name is Sarah Douglas, and I am a resident of Imperial, but I'm a helper at the animal shelter, and I wanted to know if I could give my minutes over to Diana to speak on my behalf.
We can sure do that, then she'd have a total of 6.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure I saw Diana Daniels. You're next.
Excuse me. Hi, everybody. My name is Diana Daniels. I was here about 2 weeks ago, and basically today I'm here because I kind of want to clear the air. Some people are confused on what's going on. People are making these weird statements and weird things. Okay, here's the deal. There's the Humane Society of El Centro, there's Calexico Animal Shelter, 2 different things. The animals that are caught in the city of Calexico are going to the shelter in Calexico. After a couple days, the ones that are not reclaimed by the owner are going to the Humane Society. So we both work together, which is why about 2 weeks ago, a man came up here from the Humane Society and said that they've been receiving complaints from people in the community regarding animal posted on Facebook and accusing them of doing things to them. I'm not sure what they're talking about because we run a Facebook page. On this Facebook page, we post pictures. And a lot of those pictures are of lost animals who have been reunited with their owners. When we have a person say, hey, listen, that's my dog, that's my cat, we say, if the animal is not here, please refer back to the Humane Society. Because according to the policy, whoever is not there at the shelter, if has not been adopted, is going to be at the Humane Society. Sounds pretty simple, no? Anyway, he also mentioned that it's a great idea to post pictures. I agree. If such an amazing idea, then why is that privilege is taken away from us? We are no longer allowed to post pictures. Also, he said, he didn't mention my name, but I think I'm a little bit intelligent person. And when you say something like a certain individual, a certain person, it doesn't take a genius to know you're talking about me. So I'll take the fault for this one. Yes, I picked up a litter of puppies because I called the animal shelter and said, hey, guess what? There's about 9 puppies living in a hole. And the person who works there said, Diana, I'm not going to come and get them. I said, why? If I can't get the mother, I'm not going to get the puppies. He said, and they're too young. Okay, I waited 5 weeks, and the puppies started crawling out of a hole and going onto the road, basically almost kind of getting hit by a car. So there were 4 that were taken away by just random people, and 5 I took over to my house. These dogs were abandoned, which means they were never in the custody of the Calexico Animal Shelter. So this guy who came in 2 weeks ago said, and I quote, there's a $5,000 fine if an animal is not spayed or maybe neutered. According to California state law, that's true. However, if the animal is either at the shelter or either at a pound, these animals were not at the shelter, at the pound, or nothing. They were homeless, abandoned animals. Finders keepers? I think so. So basically, if you're gonna tell me that maybe I did a bad job, then you should go in front of Vons, in front of Walmart, and find every one of those people who basically stands out there and gives out free dogs to everybody. If they're guilty, sure, I'm guilty also. Are you kidding me? Are you being serious right now? Come on. I'm disgusted by it. Also, I noticed that the name has changed from animal shelter to a pound. I have 6 minutes, sir. I have 6 minutes. Thank you. It changed from being a shelter to a pound. Who's allowed to do that? The city? Or maybe a person who's playing chief right now, acting chief. I mean, I don't understand why the animal shelter changed names to a pound. To me, when you go from a shelter to a pound, it means that you can legally, basically neglect those or provide them less care. If that's the case, please let me know that. But I would really like to know who changed the name and why they changed the name. Another thing is also, we're supposed to have a next subcommittee meeting about 3 or 4 weeks from the last time, and I haven't been contacted. I would like to know when we can happen. I'm free every Thursday, FYI. Also, there's something that I found, which I think is amazing. If we're gonna talk about 5K fines, let's talk about it. Let's see. A few years back, before I blew the whistle on Calexico Animal Shelter, they were adopting dogs out for $25 who were not spayed and who were not neutered. So if you ask me, if anybody's guilty of that crime, it's the Calexico Animal Shelter. But hey, let's see, the police department is doing something wrong and illegal, basically adopting animals out illegal. Are they punished? Why? No, they're not. Why aren't they punished? Are they people? I think they're people also. Another thing I want to talk about is that Charlene said that they have a good adoption rate. Charlene is the woman in charge of Humane Society. I'm confused. When I talked to her, she said they have a poor adoption rate, but now she's saying they have a good adoption rate. Let's get the story straight, either good or bad. And also, are we helping these dogs and cats get adopted out? Yes, we are. Why and how? Because we post pictures on Facebook and they're getting adopted out, thanks to us. But now, that privilege is gone from us. It's ridiculous. So, also, here's what I'd like to do. I feel like some stuff that's been happening lately has been getting personal. And without saying my name and social media networks, I know you're talking about me. Come on. I'm not a dumb person, okay? So what I would like to do is this. I would like to clear the air today, and I would like to work with the police department, with the Humane Society, and let's get one goal, okay? Let's make the shelter a better place. I know you don't want me here, and you're tired of seeing me here, and frankly, I'm tired of coming here. All I wanted for the past 3 years, is a shelter that has a roof, that has clean water, that has clean food, that has spay and neuter, and vaccination.
Diana? Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. And I just want to know, I'm pretty sure that you're still in contact with these two gentlemen too, correct?
Yes, I was told that we're gonna have a meeting in 3 weeks from the last one. It's been 3 weeks and we haven't got together. And I would like to get together and make this regular basis. Because if it doesn't happen, it's gonna happen in 6 months, in a year, and you know, it's not gonna fly, so.
Thank you, Diana.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Okay, next speaker is the American Cancer Society, represented by Sylvia Bernal.
Good evening. I'm here to invite the City Council to our Relay for Life. I know that some of the members that sit on the City Council are on teams already, but we wanted to extend the invitation to all the City Council members and to the public. It will be on April the 13th. It will start at 10 a.m. and it will end on April the 14th at 10 a.m. This year, we have 30 teams registered already, and so far we have raised $25,000. Our goal is $45,000, so we're almost there. And this year we have recruited a lot of new survivors. Last year we had 185. This year we have, up to this day, today, we have 217 survivors. For your information, Calexico has the highest rate of cancer. I don't know why, but I guess it's because we live close to the border. I'm assuming that. I'm not sure. But I'm just here to extend the invitation to you. And also, I went to the Southwest event last Saturday, and I was so impressed with what I saw. We went to go do a presentation. I went to do a presentation to the fire department a couple of weeks ago, and they're thinking about forming a team. I haven't had an answer back yet, but they do want to help. During the event at Southwest, when the survivors were being served the food, we were so amazed to see all the department from the fire. They were all dressed in their really nice uniforms with their gloves, and they came out and they served all the survivors, which I was so impressed with that. And I'm hoping to get the fire department to help in that area. And also, we would like to have the police department be checking a little bit more around, because we will be there for 24 hours. And I would really like to extend the invitation to everybody who's here. If you know of anyone that that has cancer or needs help, you know that our office is in El Centro, and all the services that we provide are free. We don't ask how much money you make. We don't care. What we care is that you have cancer. And if you go on that day, I would really wish that if you go at all, go at 9 o'clock at night. At 9 o'clock at night is when we turn on the luminarias, we turn off the lights, and the fields are lighted by these luminarias, and we have the survivor walk, and then we have the walk for those that have passed away. It's a beautiful ceremony, and if you go at that time. You'll be impressed with what you see. Thank you. I will leave you the invitations for that day so that you can go. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Bernal. Nothing other than to say thank you very much. As a survivor myself, I try to go out there into the community. I got my T-shirt today. Yes, and I got a team. So anyone who can go out there and join us, of course, you know it's a great cause. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, our last speaker is Daniel Chidas, and he has a comment about bus shelter request.
Hello, City Council members and City Manager, and everyone here present. My name is Daniel Chidas, 930 Rockwood Avenue, and the reason I'm here for is because a year ago I requested an RFP for the bus shelters, where I would do advertising with the bus shelters and maintain and clean the bus shelters. And well, it's been a year now, and since January it got in to the planning department, and it was worked out, and now it's taking 4 months to just get it going. I'm just here just asking nicely, if this thing is ever going to come through or not. I'm a little upset because my customers are now asking me to return their money because they have also put in money and to start putting their ads up and to start helping me out. And it's sad now that I got to return everything back because it's taking forever to get this going. I know it's been going through hoops, through legal, and I went through everything already. Now all I'm asking now nicely is when is it going to be on the agenda?
Thank you, Daniel. I'm pretty sure we'll have somebody get a hold of you. I think they're discussing that.
I'd like to know when, though.
The thing is when you come up to have public comments, that's what they are, they're just comments.
Okay.
And it's really hard to have a conversation when that's what it is, it's comments.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, after the meeting, hope it's going to be a short one, we can sit down and have a conversation a little more in-depth.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay, that is it on the public comments portion of our agenda. We're going to move on now to our general comments by our city council members, starting with Mr. Moreno.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. At this time, I have no comments.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moreno. Mr. Hodge?
Yes, I'd just like to give some valuable information regarding ICTC, Imperial Transit Commission. There was the unmet needs meeting, and the findings have come through. In other words, they now have a priority list as to what they're going to focus on based on public input as far as what the public felt were unmet needs. The biggest one, and the students had come here, was the IVC, the transportation, and the lack of room and bus schedule and buses going back and forth to IVC. So that becomes the top priority. I'd like to just read them. Number one is ICTC is going to work on to increase trips on the IVC Express. They already immediately put another bus on, so they alleviated some of the pressure. We're working closely with IVC, so things are getting better. And I think at this point in time, many of the students are very satisfied about the results. Number two, ICTC is going to increase Saturday service operating hours on the Imperial Valley transit routes in the primary corridor. Three, they're going to implement a 35-minute headways on Imperial Valley transit between Calexico and El Centro. That means it's going to be shorter. You don't have to wait as long. I think at this time it's 65, 70 minutes. So that's an improvement. Four, implement limited Sunday service operating hours. So we're going to implement Sunday services on Imperial Valley transit routes in the primary corridor. Now, that sounds great. I believe it will happen, but of course, at this point in time, they need to find funding. So nothing is absolute, but we feel confident that these unmet needs will be met. So that's my report on that. The other one is the consultants that ICTC has hired pertaining to the bus circulators, and we're working on one for Calexico. We had the meeting in a couple of weeks for quote-unquote stakeholders. The next meetings are going to be for the public. And what I understand is I think they're going to choose Pollen in third, and as people get off the buses, they're going to have an impromptu interview and ask people, how do they like the service? What do we need? And then after that, we're going to go to a designated area and have an indoor workshop. Now, I can find out for sure. We've got some dates here. I thought there were only 2, but we have April 16th, 17th. Then some days go by and we have the 23rd and 24th. I'm not sure if all of those will be designated for Calexico. So I can get back to you on that, or we'll make sure we can post something for you. But this is for the public to give their input as to what do they think about a bus circulator. That means buses and not to interfere with already the present transit system. That was made well known by the public, some of the people, the stakeholders. And what it will do, it will alleviate pressure from the bus lines, the main corridor, going from Calexico to El Centro, because that bus system makes a loop in the city. It does it out of service. It doesn't have to. It does it, and that takes more time. So things are up in the air, but the public will have their input. One more area. Still concerned about commissions. They're a valuable part of our government. They need to be operating on an efficient basis. I know you're going to go, oh no, it's impossible. But I heard there was a time that the deputy clerk would go to the meetings and take minutes, and that we as a council, it's information that we need to know how the commissions are operating, how they're serving us, how we may serve them, how we can have a closer partnership. And so we would be getting the minutes. At this point in time, we're not getting very many minutes. There are some commissions that are better than others, but we need to improve upon that and make it a consistent basis. And I still would like, on a periodic basis, once every 2 months or so, to get an attendance record of who's attending and who isn't in the commissions. And also make sure that the directors or the designated administrators are there. It's not trivial. The commissions are highly valuable. If done right, they can contribute a great deal to the efficiency of our city government. So what do I want? I want minutes on a consistent basis. I want presentations here by various commissioners. And I want to make sure that the directors take it seriously and they attend. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hodge. Mr. Kim?
I concur with Mr. Hodge. As we need to have a lot of force in the commission activities. There are so many valuable our community member want to involve, and we need to forcing every commissioner meeting once a month, regardless if we have an agenda or not. We need to have a study to prepare ready for the next big ones. And the other one is park is abandoned. Last Saturday I was checking 2 parks and the Kennedy Garden. There was no park, only dirt. And some park, and during the day, whole lights on. According to the neighbors, saying 24 hours lights on. So actually, we are the one who abandoning our valuable property, and we are misservice our citizens. It has to be deal with it as soon as possible. And also, the color That I think so when we go to Cold Road, we don't need to go to the massage. When you pass through, you're going to have a full massage from that road. It's bad conditions. A lot of people have a flat tires, and we're not doing anything. And we should have taken care of that one as soon as possible. And I need to have an organization chart for the management and the staff. The other one is I think I request to put on the agenda next meeting to make the resolution to saying Calexico business belongs to Calexico citizen, nothing to do with the supervisor. Why they have to talking about our business without us? What I understand is they're sending the letter to the state senate. We should do action, take some action to say this is our business out of the pictures. We're the one who's taking our own issues. That I'm talking about the new port of interest. The last one, I heard, and I've been seeing it, our management retaliation to our employees, city employees, because they talk with the city councilman. That's illegal. Anybody been represented for that? They can sue the school district. City. That's our right. And they're against the citizens' right, and also our councilman's right. They're blocking to communicate with the citizens and employees. It shouldn't be happens. If that happens, they are against the law and they're against me. I believe my fellow councilmen are going to be same feeling. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. Mr. Castro?
No comments.
Thank you. Okay. With regard to Cold Road, I know that we have some activity going on right now. Just to kind of help out to straighten the record, Mr. Kim, I contacted our Public Works Department, and it appears that there is a funding issue together with the county funding, and so we are hopefully awaiting for that to be straightened out soon. We're on top of that every day, but this is not a matter of the city of Calexico not wanting to repair this street. It is a matter of funding. This street has the need of major repairs, so it is major money that needs to be invested. So the funding source that's being requested for the repairs of Cold Road is a bit complicated, but we're hopefully going to see a resolution soon. Did I get that right? Okay, thank you. This past Thursday, had a couple of meetings. We had a very productive and progressive sports meeting. Mr. Castro, myself, Oscar, and many members of the community of our different sports leagues came to the city building and had a meeting together with Sandra, who will be assisting us in managing our sports program for the Parks and Recreation Department. I feel it was a very successful meeting. We had a lot of explaining as far as how the new program, actually it's always been like that, but hopefully allowing for people to have more of an opportunity to ask questions, and that we were all together, the different groups that are active in the city, together at the same time and receiving the information at the same time. So I believe it was very productive, and we went through the inventory that Mr. Castro and Sandra and Oscar were able to collect a couple of months back, and went one by one and reviewed a lot of the different issues that has to do with the parks. So I believe we're going to have a meeting pretty soon again, in about a couple of weeks, I believe is what we agreed to. So we're going to be working on that consistently, so things are happening as far as our parks. Last Thursday also was the State of the County. It was a mini presentation by Mr. Renison and Mr. Castillo for us here at the Family Style Buffet. So thank you very much to Mr. Renison and Mr. Castillo for coming to Calexico and providing us with that information. We have a new a new person to celebrate, I'll say. Here in Calexico, Mariachi Festival is coming up soon. It'll be the week of the 13th of May through the 18th of May. And we just crowned just recently, last week, our first Señorita Mariachi Festival. Her name is Andrea Cervantes, and she's a junior at the Calexico High School. She's a wonderful young lady, and Mr. Hodges' student. He wants to make sure we say that. And what we did is that this week we started a series of visits with different parts of our community, myself, Andrea, and my cousin Pati Hurtado. And we're calling it Serenatas con la Alcaldesa. And what we're doing is that we're going out there, that means serenades with your mayor. And what we're doing is we're going out to the community with Andrea and promoting the Mariachi Festival and getting everybody into the mood of mariachi. And they were asking about tickets, Hildy, so we'll be having tickets pretty soon. So you have them now, good. So next visit we'll have with them, we want to maybe raffle a few off. So that was a very, very great experience when I got there to the community center, where the senior nutrition program. Andrea was already in the kitchen helping to feed the senior citizens, so I thought that was great. You did an excellent choice with that young lady, and she's very excited about representing the city of Calexico. Thank you. Speaking of State of the City of Calexico will be having their State of the City next Tuesday, April the 16th, here at City Hall, here in the Fernando Nene Torres Council Chambers. It'll be at 6:30. We're going to be celebrating a couple of different things besides the presentation of the State of the City. We'll be celebrating the 105th anniversary of the City of Calexico, and we will be recognizing some very, very special pioneers of the City of Calexico, so we hope you can join us. And I just want to make sure that we mentioned before, because I know it's an item here on our agenda, that because of the State of the City, the regularly scheduled meeting of April the 16th will be moved over to the April 18th date, as you can see on our agenda. So we will be having the State of the City and the celebration on Tuesday the 16th, and our regular meeting will be moved over then to the 18th of April if we do approve that agenda today. So that is it for my comments, and I do thank you then. Hope we can see you then to celebrate. Okay, now moving on to our next section of our agenda is consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Madam Mayor, I
Yes.
would like to pull one item.
Of course. Which item is that?
That would be item number 3.
Okay, would you like to amend your motion, Mr. Moreno?
Well, didn't we have a long, drawn-out discussion with a presentation on that particular item a couple of weeks ago? I know that there was a lengthy discussion. If I'm not mistaken, Mr. City Manager, was it on that one?
Unfortunately, I wasn't here, but
No, not the last one.
we have talked about this before, but certainly we were willing to answer questions again.
Okay, then I will amend the motion.
Do I have a second on that?
I'd like to pull
Like to pull which item?
number 2 and 4. I think Mr. Haji pulled the 3, so I'm going to put the 2 and 4.
Okay, why do
Yes.
we even have any consent agenda for?
Okay. Motion,
Would you like to amend your motion?
yes. Motion to approve 1 and 5 and pull 2, 3, 4.
Okay, do I have a second on that? Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Okay, please vote. Okay, we have then passed items 1 and 5 of consent agenda. Mr. Kim, you wanted to pull item number 2 of consent agenda. Did you have some comments on that?
Yes, number 2, I believe that's discuss about moving the bus station to, I believe, the transit, first transit.
Are you talking about the minutes, Mr. Kim?
Beg your pardon?
You're talking about the minutes?
Yes. They were talking about the first transit. They were talking about moving the bus station
Yes.
to the 2 shelter or moving the other place. If finally they decide to move to the new shelter, new place, which is Third and I think Heber, Third and Heber. And I have a big concern about that. I was mentioned several, I think last meeting, as the downtown is business of the downtown is a lot of relate with the foot traffic. And the foot traffic people, they cross the border to buy some merchandise. Suddenly, a couple of years ago, probably long years ago, and they start having bus station on 3rd Street, and they're pumping our possible customer to the El Centro and to the county. So we are losing our possible customer to our county. So
Mr.
we
Kim,
should-
may I interrupt you?
Yes,
Actually, this
yeah,
item
I'm
is,
gonna
this item is only the approval of the minutes.
Yes, but this is discussion, so we have to,
And
we have to,
Mr.
we have
Kim?
to, we have to, this is a conclusion. I was to explain my reason.
Okay.
The same reason we should not to approve this minute to go to discuss them again to checking their bid interest. Because the bid is mostly engaging downtown merchants. They should see for the future.
Isn't
Okay.
this an, I mean, if...
Yeah, Mr. Kim, this is approval of the minutes only. I
It's
believe
not
that this...
approval, it's just acknowledge
I'm
receipt.
sorry,
Council doesn't
acknowledgement,
have
it's
to
only
approve it.
acknowledgement of the minutes and the concept that you want to discuss, I understand that, but I don't believe this is the appropriate time.
Right, that we would, the council, if the council wanted a discussion piece on location of a bus shelter, you would need to put that on a future agenda.
Yeah, I'm saying the reason I'm saying rejecting this because that's based on reason what I'm saying.
Okay, thank you. So what you're saying is that you want to reject the acknowledgement of the minutes. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, to
Okay.
discuss again.
Okay, so then do you want to go ahead and motion for its approval?
I make the motion to not to approve, that send them back.
Okay,
to
Mr.
discuss
Kim
again.
is motioning not to approve the acknowledgement of the minutes.
Madam Mayor, I don't understand. I think, for us, we weren't at that meeting, so we cannot change the minutes. It was an actual discussion that was held by the Business Improvement District. We're just acknowledging the receipt of the minutes.
Correct.
Is that
Mr.
correct?
Kim, would you like to amend your motion, or would you like to recall your motion?
Well,
These are only minutes, Mr. Kim, and they are not an item at this time for discussion. And as you were told by our legal, if you'd like to have a discussion, which we don't mind at all, we would have to have that on our regular agenda. So would you like to make the motion for the approval?
well, if you say the acknowledgements, it doesn't have to approve it, you said.
It's on our consent agenda, Mr. Kim. We would have to approve it.
I'm not going to approve
Do I
it.
have anyone else's motion to approve item number 2, consent agenda?
I'm making motion to not to approve it.
Okay. If you're making a motion then not to approve the acknowledgement of the receipt of the minutes, then I would go ahead and take a vote. Is there anyone else that would like to take a vote?
Is there a second?
Is there a second, I'm sorry? Okay, being that there is no second, can I have a motion to acknowledge receipt of the minutes?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Moreno. Do I have a second? Okay, I'll second the motion to acknowledge the receipt of minutes. Please vote. Thank you. Acknowledgement of the minutes passes 4-1. Next item is item number 3. Mr. Hodge, you asked to pull item number 3, acknowledgement receipt of single audit report for the year June 30th, 2012.
Yes, Madam Mayor. With all due respect, Finance Director Mr. Quinn, City Manager Rodriguez, my fellow colleagues, council. There are some concerns in this report. I think we can all learn. I think there is a good amount of questions. I don't want to take the time today. I strongly, and I've been conservative about making any kind of motion like this, but this particular audit, I think, needs to be analyzed well, and questions need to be answered in public. I understand that we have a briefing. That's just for us, but the public needs to understand also. So I request that we table this and we actually have a special meeting to go over this thoroughly.
Mr. Hodge, do you recall when Mr. Pun was here?
What now?
Do you recall when Mr. Pun was here and presented this?
Yeah.
He already did.
I don't care.
You want to do that all over again?
Yes, on our behalf.
He was here, he was at that
Yeah.
podium and gave a presentation.
It doesn't matter. We have questions that need to be answered.
What are the questions?
The material weaknesses, I forget what it's called, I forget the other area. It's not as bad as material weaknesses.
Okay. Although this is only acknowledgement receipt of single audit report, there was already a professional that is the one that presented this report here, probably within the last 2 months, gave a presentation up here, and there was opportunity, ample opportunity for
You
questions.
must have had me fooled, because when I read this, I'm concerned.
What we recommend is that you acknowledge receipt of the document, because it has to go to the state, and which we've already transmitted to the state, which would allow us to not have to forfeit any potential grants that we may be applying for. If you recall, last year, that was our problem, that we did not submit this by March 31st, and so therefore our park application was actually thrown out. So we would recommend that you acknowledge receipt of it. It's already gone to the state, and then if you'd like to put it on as a business item agenda for discussion, we'd be happy to do that.
I would like that.
Would the remaining balance of the council like to have that happen? Where we once again go through the single audit report, because if we have Mr. Pun come once again, that's going to be an expense.
I don't think so. I think we've exhausted this conversation. I think we should move forward.
I don't think we need Mr. Pun. I think we need to use our brains and ask some questions here.
The auditors are the source of the document. They are the ones that presented the document. However, okay, so again, once again, the question is, would the remaining balance of the council like for another presentation? I'm not sure what you mean, Mr.
If you'd
Kim?
like, Madam Mayor, before you move forward and acknowledge it, we'd be happy to answer questions if there's questions at this point in time.
Okay, I think that might be a little helpful. Do you think that might be helpful, Mr. Hodge?
It's going to take a long time.
Well, this is an agenda item, and usually agenda items should not take a long time. So
Stuff here that's serious.
the last time when the presentation was here, I think he had probably about a good half-hour
You know
presentation.
what? I don't remember what the hell he said.
Well, we don't want to take too much time as far as what we're here for today for this item. So I will motion for its approval, the acknowledgement of the receipt of the single audit report. And as far as going further into more detail with review of the
Put it
audit
on the
report, we could do it for later.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
As long as we
Do I have a second then?
I'll
Manuel?
second.
look at it.
Okay, I provided the first, Mr. Moreno provided the second. Please vote to
Well,
approve
I've had discussions.
acknowledgement. Did you have another question, Mr. Kim?
Yes.
Okay, remember, this is an agenda item, Mr. Kim, okay?
Yes, I'm not kid. I understand what you're saying.
I don't mean that.
Okay. First of all, well, when is the due date?
The due date is March 31st, and all you're doing here is you're acknowledging the report. You cannot change the report. The report is what it is.
So
All you're doing is acknowledging the report so that we show that we gave it to the governing body, but this report has already gone to the state of California.
Without
So
our
you can
approval.
ask questions about why certain things are, and we can answer you, but you cannot change the report. The report is what it is.
So without our approval, they send to the county, to the government state.
Yes, it's required in the state law.
Councilman Kim, what I'm asking is, we as a council should be concerned about this. We,
Yes.
not an expert, we need an analysis,
Yes.
which requires us to thoughtfully think, well, that's not right to say that, thoughtfully look at these areas. We have questions that need to be answered. This is the superficial top of something. There's a lot going on behind.
Yes.
And the public, and we need to understand. It's not a criticism, it's just, well, I just have questions, that's all, sir.
Well, criticism always fix the wrong thing, doing things corrected. So,
Another thing that I could suggest to you is remember that we do have a finance review committee, and you can also provide this task to the committee and allow them to do that work, being that they are the finance review committee as well. Being that, only
Well-
because it's already come before us once before.
well, okay, so how are we gonna do it? We gonna have a presentation, or we gonna just acknowledge it?
We could
Well,
discuss that later if you like. At this point, I would ask that this council focus on the acknowledgement.
Later when?
At this time, do I have
Later
a
when?
motion?
So moved?
Later when?
Thank you. I'm sorry?
Well, later when we gonna discuss?
I'm
Well,
sorry.
Business item.
Beg your pardon?
Later when?
I guess, unless the chair would not want to do this, we are prepared to answer questions now.
Well, I did ask Mr. Hodge, and Mr. Hodge is indicating that it could take a long time.
I mean, there are some issues in reference to...
First of all, we are under acknowledgement, under a consent agenda. It's not a discussion item. It's.
But it's been
only
pulled,
consent.
so you
It's
can
been pulled
discuss
for
it.
discussion, so you can discuss it now. It's just up to the
Your call,
council
Mr.
whether
Hodge.
you want to have, okay.
Okay, then let's call for the question, and let's call for the question and motion for its
Kim,
approval.
did you want to have any other comments before we move on?
Well, so we're not going to have any presentation then?
Not right now.
No, I'm not talking right now. I'm talking other days.
I think that he probably needs to look at when Mr. Pun is available and things like that, so it's probably not available to know an exact date right now. So.
Okay, so let us know to when we're going to have a meeting with them.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that what I'm hearing is that they would like staff to respond to the
staff,
questions, and we'd be
us.
happy to do that.
What are we doing right, and what the hell are we messing up on?
And we can provide those answers because there are some weaknesses which we would be happy to address. They're not material weaknesses, which is a difference, and maybe that's one of the things we need to talk about, that in any kind of an audit, you have weaknesses, and therefore you are allowed to repair those weaknesses, and you're supposed to talk about how you're going to do that. But there's also another category that's called material weaknesses, which are the ones you don't want to get. We do not have those in this report. There's a difference, okay? So we want to make sure that everybody understands that. There also are some findings on here that we are certainly not taking lightly for the next audit that we are addressing, and so we'd be also happy to address that, what we're doing to do that. There are some findings in reference to a particular fund that we are correcting, so we'd be happy to address that. So we don't have a problem. We're willing to address the questions that have come up. That's why these audits are done, so that hopefully in the future you can go ahead and take care of some of the potential findings. I have yet to find a audit where you have no findings, so it's not like, it doesn't concern me. We can answer these questions, and we're happy to do that, whether it's now or whether it's later.
So there's so much negative on here.
City Manager?
Yes, sir.
I have in front of me, it says internal control over financing and reporting, page 7. Maternal weaknesses identified 2012-01, 2012-03. I was just going by this. If you correct me, I'll respect what you're saying, but that makes me understand that there were material weaknesses, and I read this over and over again. But it doesn't have to be elongated discussion. I'm willing to wait, do my homework, and we can put it on a business item, and we can take a few minutes for us. What did the gentleman say when we went to the retreat? Discernment. Is that the word?
Discernment.
Discernment? Diligence? No. The retreat. He said what's very important is you have a follow-up. You don't leave things hanging in the air. See, I'm a teacher. You need to learn from this. Not the expert, but from each other. Hey, how did you do? We did this pretty well. Oh, we messed up over here. What are we going to do to correct it? Us.
Yeah,
Us. Not this gentleman coming in.
Yeah, and if you look at the report, we also have to respond in the report. If you look at the report, there's the recommendations, reviews or views from responsible officials, and that's where we talk about our corrective action. It's views of responsible officials and planned corrective action. That's where we have to tell the auditors, what are we doing to correct this? So that next year when you come in, you're not going to see this thing. That's where we put it into the report.
Well, I'll just make it my fault. I don't remember what he did, and I just would like...
Okay, we'd be happy to, like I said, we'd be happy to go through our planned corrective
It's here on
actions.
print, but I'd like to hear from you what it all means and where we're going. I want us all to be on the same boat and know that we're doing the right thing.
All right, one more time. We're going to acknowledge
So
receipt.
then they're going to have a next meeting? You're going to bring the presentation for the what's finding, what's going to be fixed?
If you'd like to have it on the next meeting, we'd be happy to put it on.
Please.
I move that we approve this and then look at Section 2, financial statement findings at another meeting and go through those as thoroughly and succinctly as
Yes.
possible.
And so
And
we have-
slowly.
Okay?
Do I have a
Second
second?
that.
Okay. First by Mr. Moreno, second by Mr. Hodge. For acknowledging receipt. Okay. Item number 4 was pulled by Mr. Kim. Your comments, please, Mr. Kim?
Number 4. I think it's our monthly report. And The first things I want to give you the credit to the financial department. They made a new form so a lot easier to see it. That we should have well, maybe we can say reader-friendly or public-friendly. The format, it was very nice to see it. But I found several issues. We not implementing all our budget in here.
Color what?
There's no incomes to report. They not correctly to expenditure report. There's no gas. We don't spend much gasoline. We spend. The police department is supposed to spend a lot more gasoline, and fire department is supposed to spend a lot more gasoline. They spend very little. So I don't know where it is.
Expenditures on gasoline.
And also, what I'm understanding, fire department, we received a grant about the $46,000, and I don't see it. So actually, I believe that we are right now a step to making correct, but all our incomes, all the expenditure should be here. It's not here. Without knowing how much we're making, how much coming in, how much we're spending improperly, we're not going to be able to make the right plan. I give the good portion or intention from the Mr. Quinn to make the form to more easy to read, but we still have more to implementing all the revenue and the expenditure. If not there, that means we have a second book. So very questionable. We should not approve this one until got the right one.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. Okay, you don't want to approve this one, I think I heard, right?
Yes.
Is that what you said? Okay. Does anyone, do I have a second on that?
I'm going to second that.
Okay, please vote. Okay, a yes vote means that you...
Wait.
A yes vote means that you agree with Mr. Kim that he does not want to acknowledge the receipt.
Yes vote.
And remember, this is only acknowledgement of receipt. It is not acknowledging the figures that are within the report.
I'm sorry, what was it again? What's the motion?
Make the motion to not to approve it.
Motion not to approve.
Who seconded it?
Or Castro and I simultaneously.
And if I may, remember, all you're doing is acknowledging the document. We'd be
Wait a
happy
minute.
again to do the same thing, to put it into a discussion item for the next meeting.
Wait a minute, that means the council doesn't have a say, so how we spending? That's ridiculous.
The document
Mr.
is the
Kim, no one
document.
is saying that, Mr. Kim, please. No one is saying that. I don't believe that it has to get to that degree.
Mr. Kim?
Yes.
What Oscar Rodriguez just said, I think it's a good idea. This requires discussion also, don't you agree? So we can also put this on the next agenda.
Yes, we can put it together.
So
Gonna be
we-
next agenda?
Well, I would like that, so we can acknowledge it now, but put it under business
next
item
agenda.
to discuss it.
And be prepared with some serious questions, questions that you really want to ask. And okay, so we have voted. Then you
And I
have.
think they should submit some of the questions beforehand, so that the staff is prepared to make a presentation.
No,
And not
okay,
waste
a minute.
any- and not just, yes, I think that's something that we should do.
Okay, so we have already voted, so I believe we can move on. This item number 4, was not approved in that we do want this item then to be as a business item for further discussion. Okay, on to business items now. Item number 6 is approval of proclamation declaring the week.
Mayor,
Yes.
may I ask for clarification? So
Sure.
did you acknowledge the report or not?
No,
Oh,
that is the vote right there.
Well, I thought I heard that there was willing
The
to be a
motion from
change.
Mr. Kim was not to not to acknowledge the receipt.
Then
Is
I'll
what-
change my vote,
so still 3-2. But we want to discuss the next meeting.
and I think our council members should consider the audience and submit some of these questions beforehand, so the staff is prepared, so they can make a discussion.
Well,
And not waste
budget
anybody's
information.
time.
Budget information based on our
Yeah, whatever question-
our
I'm just saying
employees. The financial department has to be full disclosure to the public.
That's right,
It's
and they
not
can,
there.
once you give you the questions, they can be full disclosure to the public, because I
No,
like to...
they have to come to full disclosure to the public.
I'm not
first.
saying that they don't have to,
When we have a
but-
question, then we ask him.
Right, but it would be nice if you could submit it prior to
no
the meeting.
problem,
I think that would be good.
Okay, so I'm going to repeat one more time what we already said, and what that is that item number 4 from the consent agenda has not been acknowledged due that vote there indicates that we're going to be returning it to a business item and have
Next
further
week, next
discussion.
week, yeah.
And-
Okay,
Next
and I'm
week.
going to move
Next
on
week.
now onto business items because I was already there. Was that okay, Mr. Rodriguez? Did that clarify for you?
Well, I thought I heard a
I know it's
council member
different.
saying that he was willing to acknowledge.
Well, Mr. Kim, think about this. I'd be willing to acknowledge it. That's all we're doing. As long as we put it on as a business item for discussion like you really want and I want for the next agenda. Maybe Councilman Castro thinks
Do we
that's
gonna
too
have
long.
it, do we gonna have it next week, next meeting to
next
discuss on how we gonna do this one?
Right, we just put the document right
can
onto a
change our
business item.
motion.
For the 18th of April.
Let's acknowledge it.
Yeah, because this money is very important. We are
Okay,
hiding the money here.
Mr. Kim, I'm going to ask that we stop the madness for just a second, and let's go back, because I'm already on business item number 6, gentlemen.
I'm
okay?
with you, Mayor.
And so if you guys want to go back, I'm going to go ask you now, are we going to go back? Because if not, may we please move on?
Move on.
Okay. We are moving on. Again, business item number 6 is the approval of proclamation declaring the week of April 14th to the 20th, 2013 as National Library Week 2013.
Okay, that's controversial.
Sandra, this is your department,
Can we approve that one?
The issues.
and I'm going to read this.
I think we should pass this for next meeting, too, April 18th.
Don't get me started, John. Sorry. Calexico City Council Proclamation, National Library Week 2013. Whereas, libraries are the heart of their communities, excuse me, campuses and schools. Whereas, librarians work to meet the changing needs of their communities, including providing resources for everyone and bringing services outside of library walls. Whereas, libraries and librarians bring together community members to enrich and shape the community and address local issues. Whereas, librarians are trained, tech-savvy professionals providing technology training and access to downloadable content like ebooks. Whereas, libraries offer programs to meet community needs, providing residents with resume writing classes, 24/7 homework help, and financial planning services to teens, applying for student loans to older adults planning their retirement. Whereas, libraries continuously grow and evolve in how they provide for the needs of every members of their community. Whereas, libraries, librarians, library workers, and supporters across America are celebrating National Library Week. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Maritza Hurtado, Mayor for the City of Calexico, proclaim National Library Week, April 14th to the 20th, 2013. I encourage all residents to visit the library this week, any library, to take advantage of the wonderful library resources available at your library. Communities matter at your library.
Hear,
Thank
hear.
you.
Libraries count.
Thank you, Mr. Hodge. And thank you. And I'm sorry to be a little feisty, but
That's all right, I like it.
getting hungry. No, you don't. Okay, business item number 7 is our appointments by Councilman Moreno to the following boards or commissions. You ready, Mr. Moreno?
Yes, I have no one for financial advisory, but I do have a sales tax advisory measure H committee appointee
Okay.
by the name of Luis Chino Gonzalez.
Okay, great selection. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm even afraid to go to this one. More informational items. Item number 8. Mr. Rodriguez, would you like to announce this?
The city was advised on March 19th that it was awarded a $4.6 million grant under the rental new construction investment partnerships known as HOME. And this money will be used for the construction of 47 affordable housing units with one manager unit for a total of $4.5 million, with $100,000 going to the city to see this program through. It would be located on Meadows Drive.
Okay, congratulations for the announcement of the award letter for 4.6 million. I saw that in the newspaper as well, so congratulations. There are good things happening in the city.
I have
Mayor-
some questions.
Mayor, you did skip me on my announcements, but I'd be happy to postpone if you'd like.
Would you like to make them now?
I'd love to.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Just information so that the public knows some of the things that we're doing. At the Cultural Arts Center, we're getting ready for the second annual Children's Art Festival, which will be held April the 20th from 10 to 2 p.m. Seeking booth sponsors for the Children's Arts Project. Each sponsor provides the art materials and staffing for the booth. To date, we currently have 8 sponsors. Under the recreation, we continue to serve about 1,500 senior citizens per month through the health and wellness program that is sponsored by the grant from the Heffernan Memorial Healthcare District. Unfortunately, we wanted to thank them when they left our little, oh, there she is, Sylvia, thank you very much, and let your board know about that we're very happy that you can participate with us and serve these seniors. Under the building division, one of the biggest things that we always try to do is provide for code enforcement. And so in March, just one day up, I just picked one day, 3/26/13, we visited 172 business, and 92 businesses were found to be closed. That goes to the heart of trying to update our business licenses. As we stated in the past, we believe that that's overestimated on the number of businesses that are out there that are delinquent, simply because a lot of them are closed, and that's what we're finding out. So that's what we're doing, updating our list so that we don't all sit there thinking that we've got $500,000 sitting out there that's going to come into our general fund tomorrow. So we're constantly doing that to make sure that the businesses that are closed, we take them off of our schedule. 27 businesses had current business license, 37 were issued administrative citations and in the business district, and 16 were in the residential areas. One of the other bigger projects that we have going, and we're happy to announce, is that we've got the renovation to our water tanks going. We had the pre-construction meeting with the contractor who was awarded the over $6 million, Nick, is that? Yeah, that's what it was, $6 million, a little over $6 million contract. And they will be mobilizing by April the 8th, so that when the press goes out there, they can see that, in fact, our tanks are going to be rehabilitated. I know there's probably going to be an article on the 3rd year after the earthquake. And so we are moving on the tanks, and we have a 330-day period in order to get our tanks back in operation. So the target is to have them up and running by April of next year. We are also working on updating and formalizing the Adopt a Park list. We've talked a lot about our parks, and along with trying to identify what is needed at our parks, which is what we did. The mayor talked about that meeting that we held with the different shareholders. We are now finalizing that list, and as part of that list will go to Measure H for funding so that we can improve our parks. And as part of this total program, we're trying to move forward and promoting our Adopt a Park. So we're updating our guidelines so that we can put it out to the public and hopefully get more participation on adopting of these parks. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a question.
Mr. Kim,
about
did
that.
you have some comments you wanted to make?
Yes, I was questioning about the fund, and you guys just jumping for something else.
You're talking about item number 8?
Yes.
Okay. Did you want to ask Mr. Rodriguez a question?
This one was we loaning for the Chelsea company, or just giving to the money?
What happens is the process is the money is granted to the city, and then it is loaned to the developer and paid back by the developer.
So 55 years loan?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. This meeting is adjourned.